I'll move this on the way. This is what we want to do.
Well, we didn't know about this, but we just
Microphone, Mom.
10 pages.
Microphone.
Good afternoon. My name is Tom Quinn. This is my beautiful wife of 60 years. I'm accepting medals or kudos or whatever. We are the parents of 7 children. There's our youngest son, Patrick. Where are you, Pat? Margaret Ann and I are officers of NAMI 6 County. NAMI is the acronym for the National Alliance on Mental Illness. We cover the counties of Coshocton, Guernsey, Morgan, Muskingum, Noble, and Perry. Our reason for being is very simple: to improve the lives of the mentally ill and support their families. Recently, the Columbus Club and Mr. Sterling, President Sterling of Sertoma, gave us a nice check to help us continue with our mission. In 1990, Patrick was diagnosed with the most debilitating disease known to man, schizophrenia. I still remember the chill that went down my spine when I first heard that word. We had a decision to make. Were we going to sit in the corner and cry in our beer, oh, why us, why us? Or were we going to get out there and try to do something about it? We decided, why not us? If we don't do it, who will? About 20 years ago, we formed a local affiliate of NAMI to help other people in our community who inevitably would find themselves as lost and confused as we were initially. We speak to various organizations such as this. We teach a course called Family to Family, which is an attempt to help families understand and cope with the unique problems that mental illness presents. Thank you. We participate in crisis intervention team training for law enforcement. One of our most enthusiastic supporters is Sheriff Matt Lutz. On behalf of the mentally ill, we thank you for that, Matt. We have trained over 100 law enforcement personnel in de-escalation techniques when dealing with the mentally ill. We hold a monthly support group meeting. We publish a monthly newsletter. Then there's my favorite, which Sterling mentioned, the Quinn Family Bash, during which 14 Quinns sing for the mental health community. Okay, Pat, you're on, bud.
Thank you, Dad. I remember when I was about 14 or 15 years of age, I had the world by the tail. I was on the basketball team. My classmates were all my friends. I was enjoying my life because it was the way I thought life was supposed to be. The world was there for me to grab, and I was going to grab it. Flash forward a few years to a very disturbed young man who was suddenly hit with delusions, paranoia, and hallucinations. My family and I had no idea what was going on with me. Following my disastrous first quarter at Ohio State University, my life revolved around hospitals, doctors, a search for a proper diagnosis, and the medication that would allow me to function without the horrible side effects that the older antipsychotics caused for me. My recovery began with the total support of my family. In particular, my brother Paul served on the board of NAMI and is an active and outspoken advocate for the mentally ill.
Thank you, Matt.
And my sister Gretchen as well has been a huge, huge help. As Americans, we have a preconceived idea of recovery. When we are young, we fall off our bike and scrape our knee or elbow, and what do? Run and tell mom. Mom applies a little Neosporin and maybe a Band-Aid, and pretty soon we are as good as new. When we are teenagers, we develop a headache from too much schoolwork. What do? Take an aspirin, right? And pretty soon we are as good as new. When dad falls and breaks an arm, there's a cast and maybe some surgery, and within a relatively short time, dad is back running the farm. One of the most difficult challenges faced by an individual living with mental illness and his family is to change this concept of recovery. Recovery from mental illness is a long and difficult process, but I've been dedicated to overcoming this illness and reaching my potential. I tell you today that there is hope. With new medications, therapy, and the all-consuming support of my family, I am reclaiming my life. It hasn't been easy, and there is still a long, bumpy road ahead, but I am determined to completely take control of this illness. I take my medication every day. I am certainly not healed, and my life is not perfect, but I run the illness does not run me. I have 2 associate degrees, one from Zane State and one from Ohio University. I lead peer-to-peer support groups at Bethesda Hospital 3 times a week and at the Crisis Center on Tuesday and Thursday. I have a dream that one not be judged by the mere makeup of one's mentality, but by the wherewithal of one's will to recover. I have a dream that one not be judged by the balance of biochemicals in one's brain, but by the tenacity and totality of their desire to recover. I have a dream that the walls of stigma will no longer box us in, but rather we breathe free and live the American dream of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, where one can live essentially and exceptionally free, stigma-free in this land of opportunity, where one should live free of oppression, but with the freedom of expression as well. My old pappy once told me there are 3 things necessary for a successful speech: be specific, be short, and be seated. Thank you very much.